chickabitty. Why are you eating me? Or are you licking me? Why are you licking me? What a funny chicken you are. Okay, so we're gonna see what happened to the basil last night. I did actually take some tomato plants and some basil and plant them in the soil. There's a 50-50 chance that they're now cooked. And everything that was in a box that was kind of raised up seemed to have some insulation from that heat. And these basil and the tomatoes had been in the greenhouse, but they'd been in their own spaces, not down in the mulch. So we'll see if they're dead. With it being this bright this morning, I have to lift this up. We've got bottom heat coming and we've got the heat coming in from the sun. So even though it's cold out here, it's still quite cold. You can, now I think we've got to the point, unless I'm blowing really hard, you can't see my breath. But it's still just way too warm in here not to pin that up. So, looks like nobody died. So, if I was back home in a really hotbed that has goat manure and lots of it and lots of urine, that would be way too hot to plant into right now. What's in here is some old horse manure that was powdery. We have some older dried rabbit manure. We have a little tiny, I'm not even sure, I don't think we put chicken manure in this one. We didn't put chicken manure in this one, we put chicken manure in this one. So chicken manure is a hot, fresh manure. Everything that went in this one was either just rabbit manure tea or it was older manure. So let's bring it in and show it to you. Okay, so what you see here is these are nettles. There's some carrots in here. Everything that I planted was just an experiment. I've broken off some of the onions and put them in here. These two are chives. We'll see how they do. They look pretty happy. That in the back is shadowy. And it's not a bad thing to have some shade when you're first transplanting things, so that I'm not upset about that. But here you have the basil, and they are looking just fine. And it's cold at night. It's still freezing at night. And you can see, let's see if I can show you. You can see they're alive. They're not flourishing as much as these ones that were coming in at night. This one got some frost on it a few days ago, and there's also a tomato in there. Back here we've got more basil, more tomatoes. In the back we've got snow peas. But I'm really kind of tempted. These onions look pretty good. I'm kind of tempted to give some of these other onions a little bit more space and start splitting them off a little bit more so that I can transplant them. What, chicken? Why are you pecking at me? Hi, chicky. I have a chicken trying to eat me. I don't know how these single ones are going to do. I'm not real optimistic about that. It's why when you do onions, you do a lot of onions. And it's why most people actually do those, the little, they look like little onions, little seed onions, instead of doing it from actual seed. People do that because these little onion seeds can be a little bit finicky and a little bit tricky to deal with. So they're very inexpensive. I like to grow them from seed just because I enjoy the challenge. What, Chicky? What do you want? I gotta show you my chicken who thinks she wants to eat my leg. She's doing it very, very gently and very sweetly, but she wants to eat my leg. Do you see how much better these guys look? Doesn't she look pretty? All her feathers have come back in, and they're starting to get some nice coloration on them. So, happy day for caged, unhappy chickens. I'm so glad that they're doing better. But back to the hotbed. So now we have these trays of seeds, and I started them in the trays because that way I can bottom water them. It's really hard to get seedlings to come on if you're top watering them, because every time you water into the container, it drowns them. So, what, Chicky? Are you hungry, and have they not fed you this morning? they told me that they fed you. I don't know how to show you guys how cute these little chickens are. Did she really not feed you this morning? There's nothing there that's edible. Okay, let me go see if she fed you this morning. So she was gently trying to talk to me and tell me that the girls did not feed them this morning. One thing that's interesting is that I never had to water the seed tray. Potting soil dries out quickly, but in this bed, with how much precipitation, what should I call it, with all the steam that was rising, there was always water collecting on the plastic, and when the water collected on the plastic, it would then drop into these little trays. And so I never had to bottom water these trays, which is really strange because it does get warm in here. You would think that it would dry out very quickly, but it didn't.